Let's go. Come on, you're not supposed to be out there. It's very dangerous. Come on, you're gonna have to stay here. What? You wanna hear a story? Fine. How about I tell you some theories that I have for one of the best subjects in the world. Bendy and the Dark Revival. That's what... I got myself ready for this. All dressed in black. But before I start, go subscribe to Mackenzie H, text number 1, Hater for Real, and Spike. More about that in the description. So, here we go. Getting ready. And I was actually had more, but this time I'm just gonna do theories. So, one thing we could theorize is how realistic the studio looks and how the graphics are insanely good. We can also note how realistic... What? Never mind, even the ink machine that has realistic writing on it, the ink tank, that scratched writing, and Allison Angel looks pretty different from her original appearance in Bendy and the Ink Machine. The only thing I would try to theorize is that it is related to the cycle. The first time Henry is sent back to that crazy studio by Joey, it's pretty cartoon-like atmosphere, which Henry doesn't seem to notice. But after he ends Bendy, it seems to restart every single event that occurred in Henry's time at the studio. He's been in this cycle for 414 times, and he is restarting Bendy by turning the ink machine on, which sends him to that endless loop that he catches himself in and brings Bendy back. And Bendy and the Dark Revival's graphics are realistic, which may mean that all those 414 times that Henry had been on through the studio, some of them were in the cartoon-like dimension, when others were on Earth. And poor Henry doesn't remember any of it. Now, the reason I think that Bendy and the Ink Machine and Bendy and the Dark Revival are in two separate dimensions is also because of Audrey. In one of Henry's audio logs saying that Bendy would return on YouTube, he said he thought someone was watching him, and sure enough, he was conversing with somebody using the invisible glowing ink. Tons of you also think that Audrey is somewhat similar to the mysterious writer that writes the secret messages seen in Through the Seeing Glass, because of the spiral we find in Henry's prison in Chapter 5. And I agree with that, and also because of when we look at Henry's sketches on the floor, Audrey writes that Henry draws beautifully. And at that time, I really wouldn't think that you'd expect a male to compliment one's drawing with the word beautifully. So that's why I believe Audrey writes to us, but you never know. Maybe Audrey and Henry are in different dimensions, and Audrey has to make her way the cartoon-like replica of the studio. Who knows? But a second theory I have is Audrey's hand. As we know in some of the teasers, Audrey has that glowing hand everyone was excited about, but in 2 other teasers they weren't. It wasn't glowing. I think that Audrey can only trigger this power in a certain way. There are all sorts of things that could trigger this power. Maybe killing can feed this power. In the 2020 trailer, we could see that it makes her inkier, but who knows, that could also feed on her power. Or maybe even the hearts, like in the 2020 trailer that I was just talking about. Kind of like how Alice thinks that the hearts would make her look beautiful, but my thought is that out of all of the items in the game that could possibly restore Audrey's power, it's bacon soup. Yeah, I know what you guys may be thinking. What is wrong with this guy? I will explain my thinking. Now I think this is a good theory because bacon soup in Bendy and the Ink Machine has healing properties for Henry, and in Boris in the Dark Survival, it boosts up your stamina. Why does it have two different properties? I think that it depends on the character. For instance, Henry, it heals him because he is a human. Although it wouldn't heal a human in the real world, I don't know. It regenerates stamina for characters like Boris, Sammy, and the Lost Ones because they are all powerless and they are fully ink creatures. And since Audrey seems to be half of a human and half of an ink creature, it can't regenerate stamina nor health. Instead, it regenerates the only thing that it can regenerate, her powers. So, thank you for your time. Go check out Batmall's videos. He's going to be making every single thing we know about Bendy and the Dark Revival in a couple hours. And, yeah, I truly support him. He's awesome. And I'm done with my theories, and if you guys like my content, like and subscribe, and comment down anything that you may think should be theorized in Bendy and the Dark Revival. This is Undying Entity 4535. I don't know when I will upload next, but I will see you guys in the next one.